Hey guys, welcome to my channel. So if you are new here, I'm Sharia and I've been an artist for around 4 years now. And this video is going to be 3 things that I've learned since becoming an artist. So let's get into it. Okay, so I have all my notes written on the back of this this piece of paper that you rip off of your canvas. So let's start with number 1. Visibility. Visibility is probably the most important thing when it comes to selling your artwork. That's clear, right? Like if no one knows what your artwork looks like, if no one knows that you're a painter, that you're an artist, how's anyone gonna buy from you, you know? And with social media, it can get a little bit tricky because it comes to a point on social media where it's like, are you selling yourself or are you selling your artwork? It can start to feel like you're selling yourself more than your art. And when those lines get blurred, it gets kind of hard to reel people back in to focus on your artwork. There are plenty of pages that I know on Instagram that are art pages, but I don't know what kind of art the content creator does. I just know how they look. And it's like, that's fine because we live in a world where people, you know, everyone's like an influencer now, that's perfectly fine. It helps you, you know, achieve your goal of visibility, but people aren't focusing on the artwork, they're focusing on you. And so it gets to a point where it's like, are you selling yourself or is art the focus? If you're getting paid both ways, I guess that's fine. But if your social media has become a thing where it's just you selling yourself and you're not getting paid from that and all your artwork is just sitting and no one's buying that, it might be time to rethink how you're doing your social media pages. But it is kind of hard, like with the things that trend nowadays, they require like a human being to be like part of it, be in the video, be in the post for like these trending audios to make sense. And then if you want to go viral, there's just so much to social media. But it is a great avenue for visibility. You just gotta keep your priorities straight. I started early with making my artwork visible. As soon as I started like taking art seriously, I started an Instagram page for my art, and then I would post like process videos from there. And with that visibility that I gained from posting on Instagram, I've basically gotten all of my opportunities in the art world from the things that I post on my Instagram, right? So that includes gallery shows, live painting events, in-person real life sales of my artwork, invites to certain, you know, art events, things like that. So visibility is very important, and social media is one of the tools that you can use to gain that visibility. You can also go the route of just like starting a website and promoting your website again on your social medias, because that's just the world that we live in. Like, you gotta go on Instagram. If you want to connect with people, you gotta do Facebook, Instagram. That's just the way to go. So yeah, that's the first thing that I learned about this whole art world, is that visibility is very important. The second thing that I've learned, so I used to be a really big hater of art schools in general. I'd always see them as pretentious. I'd see the people who went to art schools as like, I don't know, just kind of like what's the point of doing that? Like, if you're good at something and it's in the creative field, why can't you just do it? Why do you need to go to school for it? But through my many discussions with other artists and just seeing how artists who have gone to school versus like someone like me who hasn't, seeing how they're able to sell their artwork, talk about art, how our interactions go, I'm able to see the differences between me and them. And art school is important for many things. One, it gets you out of your comfort zone. So in art school, I'm guessing, I haven't really talked to anyone about their art school experience, but again, I've interacted with these people and I can just see how we differ. And art school seems to be able to teach people how to speak about their art pieces in a way that just like a novelty artist might not be able to. So like if you're reading a description of a painting, oh, this represents the this of that and this and blah blah blah, and it just sounds all nice and beautiful, but the painting is just like a circle. Like, that's what art school teaches you. It teaches you how to like speak in an embellishing way about art in general. It teaches you how to like point out things that the average person wouldn't be able to point out when it comes to a piece of artwork. And again, this is all coming from someone who hasn't gone to art school. These are just my observations from people who have gone and like what I've seen in them. So I've seen someone, you know, use what they learned in school to describe a piece of artwork to me that I thought was pretty bland. I've seen them, you know, describe it in these terms that I would have never thought of, and suddenly the art seemed valuable just based off of how they described it. It was the same piece of artwork, but the way that they were able to depict what they were seeing is somehow added to the value. And they told me, yeah, that's what art school taught me how to do that. And I'm like, oh, well, now it's clicking in my head. I get it now. Back to my notes. Yeah, I already said this, but you're able to work on pieces that you wouldn't normally work on because you have assignments that you have to fulfill. So, you know, it gets you working in different techniques. It exposes you to different techniques, as opposed to someone who's doing art by themselves. They might just stick to one thing that they know. So like, I'm mainly an acrylic artist, but I buy a lot of different tools in preparation for me maybe wanting to use something different. So I'm open to learning different techniques. I'm most comfortable with acrylic, but art school, it provides you those different like avenues to make art. So it's all like set in the curriculum and you're able to explore that way. And I think it's a quicker way to find like what your style is, because you get to see and use all these different things. And yeah, it just teaches you the academic side of artwork. And I guess the only pushback now that I have about art school is that you're not taught anything that you can't learn yourself. Like, once you discover that you do have a talent for artwork, you do have to cultivate your skills. So that does require you doing things outside of your comfort zone. And art school is just the easy way to get you to do those extra steps that you need to do. But if you're dedicated, you can also do it yourself. Okay, the third thing that I've learned since becoming a person in the art world is, to the average person, I would say they would believe that getting into an art gallery is like a very prestigious thing, which it is. But something that a lot of people don't know is that a lot of art galleries are the sort of pay-to-play type thing, where anyone can get displayed in a gallery as long as you pay a fee. I don't think a lot of people think about art galleries like that. They think that it's like curated by some great art critic and they hand selected the paintings that are in there because the artist is just so amazing, when in all actuality it's just the artist paid a fee so they were able to get their artwork displayed like everyone else in that gallery. So a lot of the stuff in the art world is not as like unaccessible as people believe. It's very easy to get your artwork displayed somewhere. And on the other side of that, you also have to watch out for people who want to take advantage of you. So a lot of these places that will sell your paintings for you, they want their own commission off of it, which is fine. The highest like commission that a gallery has taken from me is 30%, which is high, but I've seen as much as 50%. So at least, you know, at least it's not anything like that I have had to experience. But anything involving you wanting to go into the arts, if you weren't already born into it. So I have to put this disclaimer: if you're not already rich, if you're rich, things are a lot easier when you're trying to like infiltrate into the art and creativity side. of the world, when you're poor and you're trying to infiltrate into this creative lifestyle where you're able to sustain yourself off of your artwork and your creativity, you oftentimes you have to make connections with people, and sometimes those people are shady, if I'm being honest. Like, sometimes people will try to sell you a dream and take advantage of you in the process of it. You have to be wary of those things. Someone might give you an opportunity and it could seem great, but they might want something in return for that opportunity, and you have to know in yourself that like something better will come. Don't take just everything that's given to you, especially when you're in a position where like you're not already rich, you know? So me going into like the whole art world, I'm not rich at all. And so I have had to do things that kind of feel demeaning when it comes to my artwork, but just to get my name out there. There's a lot of like working for free that people want. Like, people will say, oh, can you paint this for me? I'll pay you in visibility. And it's like, I guess, but I'd prefer to have some money. Yeah, there's a lot of things where people will try to take advantage of you, and they won't. The hard thing about art is people don't even think that they're taking advantage when they try to like get free art from you or lowball you on something, because somehow art is just seen as like some fun, frivolous thing that you're doing, and it's not really seen as a serious avenue for a lot of people. So no one's gonna like stiff their plumber. If a plumber comes and like fixes their toilet, they're not gonna be like, oh yeah, I don't feel like I need to pay you. But if someone paints them a picture, they're like, oh yeah, you know, like somehow art in people's minds has shifted from being something that's valuable to something that's like supposed to be free, like it's a right. And so people will try to get like free things from you a lot, and you just have to, I don't know, you have to like set boundaries within yourself and do a lot of research, know what you're worth, and don't accept anything less unless you think the benefits of accepting something for less will outweigh what the negatives would be. So like, sure, putting a painting up for exposure, it could be a good benefit for you, but as long as you're aware of it, you're not letting someone like get over on you, then you're good. And so, yeah, I'd say those are the 3 things that I've learned since becoming an artist. 3 things for this video, at least. I've learned a lot more, but that'll be for another time. That's all for this video. Okay, bye.